Okay guys, this is the last of the videos for 6-2. We're going to do transformation and combination at the same time, okay? And I always say when you transform and combine, transform first, okay? Then combine. It just makes it a lot easier, less room for error. Okay, so we're going to do our college credit information. So remember the random variable x represented the number of college credits earned by a high school student. And remember the average or expected or mean number of college credits by a high school student is 2.67 and a standard deviation of 3.52. Okay, these are credits. Y, random variable, represented the number of college credits earned by a college student in their first year. So if we remember from the previous video, the mean number of college credits for a high school student was 4.65 credits, and that varied by 2.06 credits. Okay, put a little line here. Okay, so we did those calculations on the other videos. Now in high school, college credits cost $25 per credit. What a bargain. In college, they're a little more expensive. Okay, so we want to find the mean and standard deviation of the total amount of tuition for a randomly selected high school student and randomly selected first-year college student. So before, in the other video, when all we were doing was combining the credits, we just added them together. Well, I need to transform these into money, tuition, and then add them together. So I'm going to transform them first. Okay, so I'm going to transform credits into money. Okay, so credits into tuition. Okay, so let's do high school first. So for the mean, okay, for the mean of tuition, okay, all I have to do is take my $25 per credit and multiply it by the credits. Okay, it's just transformation. I took out the $10 service fee or $10 student fee. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. So 25 times the 2.67 credits, and we get about $66.75. Same thing with the standard deviation of the tuition. Okay, we're going to say, I'm going to put a T above tuition there. I would take 25 and multiply by the standard deviation for the high school students. So they're going to pay typically $66.75, and that's going to vary by about $88. Okay, well in college, actually I'm going to change this to tuition for high school, and then we'll do mean of tuition for college. Now it's going to be $370 a credit, and they're earning a lot more credits on average. So their tuition is going to be roughly, what is that, $5,420 a semester. And their standard deviation, again, transforming so I can multiply, times 2.06. So that's going to vary by about $762.20. Okay? So I've transformed first. So now to find the total amount of tuition for a randomly selected high school student and a randomly selected college student, all I got to do is add these together. Okay? And then I got to add these together, but I got to square them first because I got to turn them into variances. So now the mean of tuition for high school and college will be the mean of the tuition for high school plus the mean of the tuition for college. Okay, because it's already been transformed. So 66.75 plus 5,420 is $5,487.25. Okay, so that would be the combined tuition for a randomly selected high school student and a randomly selected first-year college student based on the typical number of credits a high schooler and a college student earn. Okay. So we'll do the standard deviation. Let me move it over a little bit. Standard deviation for the tuition of the high school and college will simply be the standard deviation of the tuition of the high school plus the standard deviation of the tuition of the college. But again, I can't necessarily add standard deviations. I have to work with their variances. Okay, so I've got to square both of them. And then to get back to standard deviation, I've got to take the square root. So standard deviation for tuition for high school would be $88, and I will square it, plus standard deviation of tuition for college would be $762.20 squared, okay, and then I will square root So this will end up being $776.26. Okay, so the mean and standard deviation for the total amount of tuition for a randomly selected high school student and a randomly selected college student would be $5,487.25, and that would vary by $767.26. Okay, so I transform them from credits to tuition first, then I combine the tuitions. Okay, I think it's a lot easier if you just stair step it. You could do all this calculation in here, but again, I think it's a little easier to do step by step. Okay, let's do one more question. Suppose we randomly select one high school student and one college student. What is the mean and standard deviation of the difference in the tuition charges? Okay, so now I don't want to do the addition of the tuition. I want to subtract the tuitions. Okay, so I'm going to do the mean of the tuition of high school minus college, and then the standard deviation of the tuition of high school minus college. So again, subtraction is intuitive. I would take the mean of the tuition of the high school and subtract the mean of the tuition of the college student. So where's my tuition of high school? $66.75, and I'm going to subtract the average tuition of a college student. And it would be a difference of 5,400. Oop, no, I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at that one. It would be difference of $5,353.75. Okay, makes sense. There's going to be a difference between your tuition, your college tuition when you're a high school student and when you're a college student. Now for standard deviation, again, you would say standard deviation of the tuition for the high school student minus standard deviation of the tuition for the college student. But again, you can't calculate standard deviation, you have to calculate variance. And once you square them, this becomes positive because a negative squared is positive. And then I have to square root to get back to standard deviation. It's the same thing, whether I'm adding or subtracting. It's the exact same formula. So standard deviation for high school is 88. Standard deviation for college, I will square them. I've already added them. Take the square root, and I get this exact same thing. Okay, so it's kind of nice. You only have to memorize one formula for standard deviation when you're combining random variables, because it's going to be the same whether you're adding or subtracting the random variables. Okay, and then the mean, of course, will add or subtract accordingly. I did put my dollar sign over here. Okay, all right. That's it, guys. That's the entire section. So we transform first and we combine first, and now we're doing both. So when you have to transform and combine, transform first, then combine. It just makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you for Chapter 7 next time. See you later.